Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad. You're very violent today.
Maybe I'm possessed.
Yeah.
This week, we're covering long legs.
Don't move.
Is it scary being an FBI agent?
The letter was left with the bodies. We have 10 letters like it over the past 30 years. And all in sign of one word. Long legs.
He'll kill. And kill again.
Oh, there she is.
You could have made nice with me. But you didn't.
Put the gun down!
And now that has led to all of this.
Did I say that?
You did.
Creepy?
You did say creepy.
There's a lot to unpack about long legs. Probably could talk about this movie forever. For a multitude of reasons. One, Betty has been waiting for this movie to come out for like over a year. The second I found out about it, it was like Oz Perkins pending. You know, like they're gonna have like whatever, and then finally name reveal. I'm like, long legs. Okay, interesting. And then it's just been a waiting game ever since.
Dropping little tidbits, little trailers here and there that they were remarkably restrained keeping Nicolas Cage out of the advertisements.
Yes, they did a wonderful job at blurring and not showing his face.
Just showing like you heard his voice, see just a little hint of him here and there. They did a great job at just teasing him out, because half the people that I've talked to are like, he's in that movie? I'm like, yes, he's in that movie.
So, Oz Perkins is the son of Anthony Perkins, who is a legend from
Psycho and many other things.
I'm letting you take the one on now because I know you love Psycho. I love Psycho 2.
Yeah, Psycho
and Psycho 1 and Psycho 3.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
All the way up to 4, which is the only one I don't own.
But we have actually been watching his movies since he came on the scene. The first one we saw, which this is out of order because I'm like, we saw this one first and this other one hadn't come out yet, but the dates on them are like 1 year apart, which is All the Little Pretty Things Live in a House, or whatever the name of the movie is. It's a very long name for that film. Ghost movie. They don't want to call it Ghost movie.
Yeah, it's I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House.
There you go. Second movie, you got Black Coat's Daughter. And that's labeled as 2015.
Yeah, which was originally supposed to be called February because obviously it takes place in February.
Code Winter Horror. Okay, and I will discuss Black Coat's Daughter probably more than you want to hear. But you should definitely watch that movie. If you like this movie, you should go back and watch Black Coat's Daughter. And then he did Gretel and Hansel, and now we're here.
And he's done some acting work over the years. He played young Norman Bates in Psycho 2, which has got to be fun for him to look back on and be like, hey, I played the same role as my dad.
Yeah, he was in Legally Blonde. He's been a ton of stuff. He's an actor slash director slash writer. This is his fifth directorial film. And he has two upcoming ones. One that he just directed, another one that he wrote and directed. But we're not going to jump the gun into the future because we have to focus on long legs. Now, the number we always discuss who was in the movie we tend to do it on like either like who the most recognized name is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the first person in the film is Satan, and he played himself. And then you have Nick Cage, who's long legs,
doing his very best Tiny Tim impersonation in this movie.
I don't see that at all, because I wasn't around that whole thing to tiptoe through the tulips, which the only reason why I even know that is because of Insidious.
Yeah.
And then we have a scream queen, okay, back on the scene. Actually, she's been working this whole time, but I actually saw the Watcher a couple of, oh yeah, okay, he just showed me a photo of it, and yeah, that's horrifying. Just get that away. I don't want to see that at all.
That's why when I see him, I was like, oh, he's doing Tiny Tim as the Joker. That's what he's doing in this movie, and it's very effective because that guy was creepy. Just when you looked at him, you're like, oh no.
Maika Monroe's Lee Harker, and she's the FBI agent. And Shad, take over the rest of the cast.
Well, you've got Blair Underwood, and you would know him. And to quote The Simpsons, you might remember him from such roles as Everything from like 1985 up until now. He was in L.A. Law. He's been in Knight Rider. He's been in everything. And he plays the Maika Monroe's boss at the FBI, Agent Carter. Get it? Like Chris Carter from the X-Files.
Oh, yeah. This film is set in 1995, so we're just going to...
So that was the height of like X-Files popularity. It was 95, 96. Yeah. And you've also got Alicia Witt.
Yes.
Yes, she's making her horror return after, being away for a while. She, of course, recognize her from, what's her name?
Urban Legend.
Urban Legend, and from Dune.
Yes.
When she played Paul's sister. And she
child actress.
Yes, she's done a lot over the years, but those are always going to stick out for me. Urban Legend is always one of my favorites anyhow. I love that movie.
And with a small wink cameo is Karen Shipka. For reasons TBD, I will ask Osgood when I meet him why you chose her to be in the movie. I have questions, but that will be played. I will discuss that later on. So it's 1995. We have Lee Harker, FBI agent. I feel like, not that she's new, but she's kind of new.
She's new because that was one of the first scenes of the movie was the guy says, all right, now you're going to have to do the jobs that the big kids don't want to do. And they put her out to go knocking on people's doors and asking questions. Like, you kids are going to have to do the jobs that nobody wants to do. So I got the feeling it's one of those, she's not quite a trainee, but she's new Rookie. On the job. She, this is the first month, and they're like, yeah, you don't get to do the cool things.
I wouldn't say first month, but definitely new. You get the sense the film doesn't actually open up with that scene. The film opens up with even a more horrifying scene. And let me tell you, now there's a lot of different things in this movie that we can discuss and try to peel back all of these layers and really get into it, because there's a lot of biblical there's a biblical reference which I will read, and there's a lot of things.
Most importantly, when she goes back to visit her mom at one point and comes through, there is laying in a clothes basket. That's how I know what it is. Lying in the clothes basket is the Snuggle Bear that was given away as a promotional item in the 90s, in the early 90s, because I still have one of these Snuggle Bears that I got when I worked at Kmart.
So I love how you segue into the Snuggle Bear like this, because I did not think that you were going to drop that so early into...
Yeah, I want to get it out there right now. As soon as our daughter wakes up, I'm getting that Snuggle Bear out, and we're going to post some pictures of it.
So Snuggle Bear is the other star of the film, who's in the film. I watched the film, and I've seen the Snuggle Bear for like the last 6 years of my life, okay? Totally, the what I was focused on was the hoarding situation and amongst other things. But I digress. Let's go back to the opening of the film. So we said that Black Coat's Daughter was winter horror, and so is this one. It's set in Oregon. It's the mid-90s. And the movie begins, and it's 1974, it's the 70s. I already knew off the fucking bat, okay? Because a lot of people that are, I'm going to say, plus younger than 25 years old is going to be like, this could, it's not going to be like, boom, this is the 70s. The fucking little girl's wearing this jacket. I'm like, that is the most 70s jacket ever, like, known to man. Like, boom, like 70s, yes, in the early 80s, because the 80s don't really, each decade doesn't really get its own like personality until like the midway. But you have this little girl, it's white, pristine, the snow has fallen, everything is just gorgeous, okay? And you have this little girl wearing like this rainbow colored fucking jacket, sees that a car rolls up. She goes outside and she has one of those like tape recorders, which you also probably have a tape recorder that she has. And she walks out and she hears behind her someone say something. And I'm like, oh hell no. First of all, it's the snow, like, it's that kind of snow, if you've ever been in snow where, like, you put your foot in and, like, you lose the foot because it's, like, deep in the snow, you hear, like, the crunch, and, so it's too cold to be out there. And then it's like, no, you don't know who this is, baby girl. I know it's the 70s and people are still very trusting, but do not do that. Get out of there. And then, boom, there's fucking Nicolas Cage in, like, a light pink. He looks like the outfit, because I will be discussing this outfit more than once. The outfit looks like I put my white clothes to wash and oh shit, I left a red sock in the damn thing, and now I have this like weird light colored pink outfit, vest, jeans, shirt, and it's a weird fucking color. And it's horrifying. The color is just the scariest outfit ever. Like, that should also...
like a weird, dirty, like, maybe there's blood on it, maybe there's not. It's hard to tell.
I don't like it. And they kind of show his face. It's just shot so amazingly. Oz Perkins, all of his films are slow burns. Like, I think the Gretel and Hansel are probably I don't want to say fastest, but fast paced, but it does move along slightly quicker than his other films. This one is better. I don't want to say it's whether the pacing is bad or good. It's just he just likes to reveal things very slowly. It's like I'm trying to bring you into this world, and we're just gonna simmer here in the pot, until boom, the shit's overflowing. You don't even know what to do with yourself, and you're trying to like fucking get it all back in the pot, but you can't. That's why I'm gonna describe Oz Perkins' film. But so yeah, you see his face, and just wonderfully, you know how they did like Morticia's eyes, and it's just the eyes was just lit. It's like you just see the bottom of his face.
Yeah, then
he's framed up, and it's wonderfully shot because it's the POV of the little girl. So she's way, shorter than he is. So she's looking up at him, and you only see from like the tip of his nose, like down. And then when he gets in her eye line where he's like eye to eye to her and he bends down, holy shit. You're just like, oh no. And this film,
you don't even see the full face at first. It just cuts blurred to the credits, just as he would be like where you would see the full reveal. It cuts to the credits and just says long legs, and you're like, oh no.
And then he did that wonderful thing where it's the shot. It looks like
8mm movie film.
8mm, and it fades into the frame, which is the car, like you're in the back seat of a car and you're looking out the window. It's just genius. I love it.
Yeah, to let you know, the scenes that are in the past, whenever they flash back to something in the past, are always framed. It has like the rounded edges on it, like the film did when you were watching those. And then as it, when they go back into the present, it just kind of slowly fades out and spreads out across the screen again. It's really cool.
It is very, very cool. He does some really cool stuff in this movie. So we're not going to go scene by scene, but that opening is one of those like, okay, and then the music, and it's just eerie. It's very, I like when I left the theater, I thought this was very like French, like the cuts, the editing, the imagery. It just was very stylized, and I was there for it. I'm all about it.
And a lot of people have said like this reminds them of Silence of the Lambs, and yeah, I agree with that. It reminds me like of the Silence of the Lambs and Manhunter, because both of those, like the Michael Mann Manhunter, not the Red Dragon, it took place. It was a lot more subdued. Like when they met with people at the FBI, they didn't meet with 40, 50 people. They met with a few guys in a room. And it's that way in Silence of the Lambs, too, because they're not like... It's mostly Clarice and a few people in rooms talking about different things, and that there's not a lot of, like... You don't get the sense that they have a lot of money going around. Some of these movies make the FBI out like they just have unlimited money and resources. They're living in giant buildings. Everybody's driving around in fancy cars and all this. Manhunter and Silence of the Lambs, you get the feeling that they're all just what they are. Government workers just making their salary, living in the basement down here, doing these things. And that's what Longlegs, like the meeting room that they have for it, looks like it hasn't been updated since the 1970s. It has like that wood paneling on the walls that they all had in the 70s, like that cheap shit that you would buy at freaking the low-rate lumber store. It's got that, and it has red carpet on the floor. Like, who thought that was a good idea? But obviously it's a government building. They bought the cheapest shit imaginable, and threw it in there. So that it had that feeling of like a lived-in kind of space to me. It didn't seem like cold and antiseptic. It seemed like that's the building that everybody's been using for the last 40 years for the damn FBI in that area.
Yeah. I don't see that. I understand why because people are very, it was like, okay. I understand why people would say, oh, this is like Signs of the Lambs, because it's a woman FBI agent. She's after a serial killer. I think that's where it ends. I mean, yes, with how, I want to say low budget, but we're in Oregon. It's the mid-90s. I'm not expecting like lavish buildings and like all this stuff. Like it is very low key, like like backwoods kind of thing.
Which is what it would be in that area. That's why I like that, because they didn't try to make it like, oh, here's the giant FBI building that just happens to be in this small town in Oregon where they're at. That seems weird.
Yeah.
There is a couple things that I noticed about that remind me of Silence of the Lambs too. Is that like in Silence of the Lambs, Clarice drove the little VW Beetle, and that's what Alicia Witt drives in this. She's driving the VW Beetle, which those cars throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, up until probably the early 2000s, before they all just finally fell apart. Everybody that couldn't afford a car had one of those, because you could buy one, and they were loud. They didn't have air conditioning most of the time, and they were like, some of them were a weird semi-automatic, where like you had to shift it when you stopped, but when you were going, you didn't have to. So it was easier for people to drive, but they would hang on forever. So yeah, it was obviously one of those things, like if you were in college or high school, a lot of people's first car was one of those bugs. Yeah,
well, yeah, I'm sure, Perkins is a fan of film. So I'm sure he wanted to throw his little Easter things here and there, and then stick to, like the Snuggle Bear, what was actually happening in that time. Oh my God, that house. Okay. So, I don't want to say that Lee Harker, she was definitely different. Now, just like many films of the 80s, more so I would say 80s, where there's always a psychic. Like someone, like Friday the 13th, like, oh, okay, now we're going to have like, someone that has some kind of powers. And she was sensitive, which we find out later on why. But she was sensitive to things, and she, you know, one would say, as Agent Carter said, she was highly intuitive.
Yeah.
As you're doing the door-to-door knocking, because they're trying to find, I thought they were looking for Longlegs right off the bat.
No, they were looking for an unrelated guy.
Yeah, unrelated guy. She knew exactly. Like, they stepped out of the car. She was just sitting there for a little while her agent, who told her very, you know, it is the mid-90s, it was very sexist. I did not appreciate the one-liner from the guy when he got shot in the head. I was like, yeah, I don't feel bad for you, guy. He's like, I'll just, basically, this is how I took it. He was like, I'll do the work while you just sit there. Like, you just sit there. And I'm like, oh, heck no. She could have gone out knocking on the doors.
Yeah, he said, if you want to be the one that hangs back, I'm okay.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. So, but you know what? He went off to go knock on the doors. And then there might be people out there be like, Betty, you're being a little extra with that. But then when she steps out and she tells the guy, this is the house. Like, this guy's in there. And he's like, guy, we can't just be calling it in just based because you think that the guy is in there. He's not in there. He undermines her.
Yep.
He undermines her, and it's like, oh, I got it. And then, classic fucking scene, because you rarely see this. The guy opens the door, boom, the guy gets shot in the fucking head. You're like, holy shit. Like, that's a fucking...
Yeah, the guy's like, hi, we're at the FBI. And he's like, oh yeah? And then just bam, right between the eyes. Yeah. He's gone.
And, you know, the blood, like, just coming out of the guy's head on the snow, like, on the, you know, it's like, everything's white. I just see, like, everything white in the whole damn movie, which I was telling Shad, you know, just, you know, what does winter bring? Like, death, right? Winter's about everything dying underneath, and how later on I go in further into what I think the winter represents in connection to a character in the film. But so yeah, so then, you know, of course the guy they were looking for was in there, and they get him, and then she has to do these weird fucking tests, which I was like, I don't know, I thought they were testing her for, like, you know, when an agent sees, you know,
testing like for post-traumatic stress or something.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was what was going on, but it was like, no, we're testing to see, like, do you got gifts?
Yeah, they tested her straight up, tested to see if she was psychic.
Yeah, that was horrifying. I did not like the flashes of imagery and that cold ass room. Like, it was just weird. I did not like that at all. But, you know, after she has this interaction, and, you know, things are just, she gets introduced to Longlegs and Agent Carter.
Case, yeah.
The case, not the Longlegs. She gets introduced to the case of Longlegs, and you know, no one's been able to, like, it's been 30 years, and no one's been able to, like, catch this dude, and he's just out there killing and
leaving these cryptic messages at the crime scenes are written in code.
Yeah, and I have to say that, and she's like I said, there's something, she's just different. She's a different person, like, the way that she acts, her responses. Yeah, I don't want to say it was autistic, because I don't want to put a label, but she, you know, she didn't absorb things and didn't have, you know, those kind of interactions. She was kind of
She was very socially awkward.
She was socially awkward. Kind of like, I guess, yes, fine, like Clarice. Clarice kind of also was... I want to say they were more like listeners and, like, observers, and don't really interact until they're interacted with.
Yeah.
Kind of people. But, you know, she gets to it, man. She gets to work, and she starts doing all this work, and then it's time to go home. And, you know, where I live in a fucking cabin with nothing but windows on one side, and it's creepy as hell, and I hate this damn cabin. I hate this house.
Yeah, this is not a good place to live for anybody, much less a person working in the FBI.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? What is this? Maybe it might look beautiful in the spring and the summer, but winter? Like, no, get some damn curtains, man. So many damn windows. And of course, who comes fucking knocking on the door?
But Longlegs.
Mr. Longlegs. I call him Mr. Longlegs.
And he's leaving some surprise gifts for her.
Yeah, he leaves her a fucking card. And so in the film, when the whole discussion of the case and what the commonality is between, you know, all the families that have been murdered, because these families are being murdered and they don't know why. Like, they don't know why the dad flips the fuck out and, like, just goes and kills his whole fucking family and then himself. So they have no idea why that happens. There's no evidence. There's nothing.
But Longlegs leaves a letter there taking credit for them doing it.
Yes, he leaves a letter. Weird cryptic messages, sign, Longlegs. That's
Mr.
it.
Longlegs.
Mr. Paul, he's just Longlegs, but yes.
I like on his driver's license it just says Mr. Longlegs.
Mr. Longlegs. He does have a name in the movie, which he says when, like, at the end of the movie, but and his name is not Cotton Weary. I don't know why that came to my mind. It's something like Column something whatever. It's some fucking weird thing. Who cares? His name is Longlegs. He's not
his
a human.
last name is Cobble. It's like Marcus Ferdinand Cobble or something like that.
Yes, Cobble. Yes, definitely. That's definitely what it is. Yeah. Ugh. Still a weird fucking name.
Yeah.
It's like, Ferdinand Cobble or Longlegs. I don't know. So, he leaves her. The common thing is that all the children have a birthday either on the 13th or on the 14th. They all share the birthday on the 14th.
And they all die within a few days of their birthday.
Yes. Shake my head. And, you know, that's why they haven't been able to crack the case, because there's nothing. There's a bunch of dead bodies, and there's no fingerprints. There's no blood from anyone outside of the family. You know, there's nothing but this letter and these murders. So she gets to work, and based on the card that he sends her,
oh yeah,
which is a birthday card for a 9-year-old, he leaves some really fucked up stuff about the sand and the sea, and then something about hanging tits. I don't know. That's all I remember. Sand, sea, hanging tits. I did not care for that. That's when she, like, cracks the code.
Yeah, because he left her like a little thing. Well, he said basically, if you tell anyone where you got this, I'll kill your mother.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
Yeah. So, she does have a conversation with the mom when she first got home before this happened, and the conversation was just very weird. You could hear the interaction between Elisa Wood's character Ruth and her, and it's just weird, you know. Just, I thought they just had like mother-daughter problems, you know.
Oh, they do.
Well, yes, they do, but not to that, like, whatever. It was just a weird interaction. And then she asked her, like, if she's gonna come for her birthday, like, is Lee gonna come over to her mom's house for her birthday? And that's when I'm like, oh no, this is not good. And then she gets that birthday card, and I'm like, okay, so her birthday's on the 14th, some month, on the 14th, and it's coming up. It's because it's gonna be like next week. And, you know, Longlegs doesn't do anything to her. He just leaves his little
cryptic threat,
and then is out. Like, he just drops. That scene is just so.
Yeah, and the like translation for the thing, like how to, like the code key for everything to translate it. So then she can translate all the messages, and then she gives the FBI an earful. She takes it all back and shows them everything, and they're like, "How the hell did you figure this out?" And I love her line of like, because he had told her she had looked at things too long, and she's like, "I looked at it long enough."
Yep, she looked at it real long, but it was because she received that. But she never said, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah,
like she's supposed to like report like literally. And I love how, even though she was unprofessional in some moments of the film, that bitch always wore the fucking gloves.
Yeah,
she was always wearing the gloves, even though some of the scenes it's like, I think you're supposed to call in and report that, but she did not.
Yeah,
she just kept that shit to herself.
Yeah, I would definitely be telling everything I saw about that. Like, nope.
Because, like, and then, you know, at the reveal of the film, you figure out, oh, okay, that's how this, and this. But, like, you're there and you're like, did he follow her home? Like, how the hell did he know where she lived? Like, what the hell? And then, like, what is that whole, you know, thing about? But, you know, we get out of the film, and the film it opens up with whatchamacallit, whatever it's called, like a little blip or whatever, like an excerpt from I don't know, it's not the Bible, it's an excerpt from a song. I believe it's a song. And it has some weird shit in it. But later on, we get more of when they're going through the stuff and they're finding like, oh, okay, she's uncrypted this stuff. We get, and I love how she corrects the agent when she's like, oh, revelations. And she's like, no, it's just revelation. Revelation 13:1. And, because, long legs. And it says, I stood upon the sand of the sea. Oh, there we go with the sand in the sea. And saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And later at the end of the film, they say it again. It's said again, and they're showing like what occurred in the past.
Yeah.
To kind of give you like a heads up. Now, this is one of the few movies, I'm not going to say the only movie, but this is one of the few movies where the entity or whatever is actual Satan, okay? Because every other fucking movie, it's like one of his soldiers. It's not actually Satan himself. And I was joking with Chad. I was like, he just came. He was like, look, I'm tired. I put all these soldiers out. They don't get any of this shit done. Beelzebub, like, failed. All these motherfuckers failed. I'm coming to do the work because I'm the only one that could get it done.
He's like putting on his red cape, and he's like, well, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
Exactly. But in that verse, if you really pick it apart and you try to like, what the heck is this? Obviously, whoever's there, Satan is coming, and the focus is like how he might return and take over the world, and how someone that would worship him would wait for him, to like, hello, hi, how you doing? But that Satan can't do it on his own. He needs help.
Yeah.
And he's very busy. Ruling hell, it's a lot of work. From watching the show Lucifer, even though that's obviously a very lighthearted show, he's very busy. But the help is Longlegs, and you watch the film and you're watching this, and anyone that's watched true crime or any of these movies that we've mentioned before that has like a serial killer, it's when it gets to the point like, how were they able to execute this? It has to be more than one. It's like the Scream thing. It wasn't just, what's his face?
It wasn't just Stu.
No, you see, I was going to say Stu. It was Stu that came in because the other guy, fucking Skeet Ulrich, he's the guy that is really...
Oh, yeah, Billy.
And then Billy, and Stu's really like, I want to say lapdog, but the helper.
Yeah, he was.
So, who was the helper in this? And then that's when Lee Harker is like, tells the Agent Carter, it has to be someone the family trusted. That's the connection. Someone the family trusted to open their door and let this person into their house, which still doesn't, and, he does say that, it still doesn't, answer how
you made them do this.
How do you make someone like kill their family and then kill themselves? This is not a thing that happens, and of course, even though we have the X-Files Agent Carter like wink, this is not the X-Files, and they're not into the supernatural, they're not believing it. Which is kind of
weird. They did test her for psychic abilities.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. They're like, okay, so what you're saying is that you're going to accept this shit over here. But you know what? If this is like the same world of like movie world, right? They had Charlie, right? Who was like telekinetic or whatever. Like she had the, not telekinetic, she had the fucking...
Pyrokinesis.
Pyrokinesis, yeah. Which she was, in that sect of the government, whatever housing whoever those fucking special people were that were doing this to these kids and shit and these people. So maybe it's all just interconnected. I love how it's like all these underground, like low budgeted, like, we're not gonna spend that much money on this, you know, whatever special project that's happening there. But you come to find out, you know, Longlegs, he gives himself up. And this is where the conversation about the outfit comes in. The man is wearing the same fucking outfit he wore in 1974 and 1995, okay? And that shit is intact. So that should just fucking tell you, before they started just having every fucking thing being made overseas, that shit was made in America and it was good to fucking last, which one would say cars, fine, they're not good with the cars. But the clothes, man, they put out some good clothes, because that was...
Or he just had like a whole rack of different ones, all the same ones. He had like it hanging up like, you know, The Simpsons or whatever, where they all wear the same clothes every day. He just had a whole closet full of those suits. And as one started to wear out, he just switched a new one into rotation.
No, so even though we didn't say this at the beginning of the podcast, but we have to... spoiler. if you've gone this far, we've spoiled so much. And we apologize. We actually did a poll, and whopping numbers came through, and y'all said to do spoiler. So we did a spoiler cast. And the revelation is that it was Agatha all along. No, it was Ruth was the one helping Longlegs, because at the beginning of the movie, we see, which they do kind of, I would say probably a little after halfway, they do, not reveal, but show, like, she's the little girl from the beginning of the movie, and she does have that interaction with Longlegs. The mom comes out.
She takes his picture.
She takes his picture, and which she finds later on in her room, which is like the mom gave her breadcrumbs, because she said, you know, the answer's in your room. Like, she's the one that has the daughter go up there. You know, whatever you're looking for is going to be in your room. Because that was the only room that was clean, yo. That house was a hoarder's dream and a regular person's nightmare. There was shit everywhere. Because she didn't have time to be cleaning up. She had dealings with the devil. And the devil was like, bitch, you got time to clean. Okay, I live in filth, and so are you going to live in filth too. So... there was just crap all over the place. And then there was this random porcelain doll that was like sticking out from like the boxes. That was the only thing I was focusing on. I was like, this doll gonna come alive. This doll's gonna come alive, and I don't like that doll at all. But the mom was helping Longlegs since 1974, because she was protecting her daughter, because, you know, he came along with the doll, because there's dolls involved in this shit, and that's the whole common thing. The mom was dressing up as a nun, because she used to be a nurse. She was dressing up as a nun, saying, congratulations, you won, you know, your church's raffle, whatever the fuck, and leaving these, like, American Girl style looking dolls that were, like, literally the height of, like, a 9-year-old. They were huge.
And they happen to look just like whatever kid was in the house.
Yes.
And then they show the great scene where she uncovers the doll, and as soon as she does, like, you see the dad, like, start grabbing his head like he's getting a headache, and start, like, kind of acting weird. And, yeah. That's when, you know, you realize, like, the doll has, like, some kind of magic or evil with it, that as soon as it's brought into the house, it just drives everybody crazy. Now, it doesn't seem to bother Alicia Witt, because she even says at one point, he would make me watch. So she just had to sit there and watch all these murders happen. The parents, the kids, everything. And then just pick the doll up, put it back in the box, and leave. And they never suspected, if they found any trace evidence of her, like they said, you know, oh, he never left any fingerprints, he never left any DNA, he never left anything. If they did find anything and identified it as a woman's, they wouldn't have thought anything of it, because they were so focused on finding a man as the killer. They never thought that the woman might be the accomplice, helping it out, you know?
And yeah, and, you know, I'm thinking, like, okay, I could see, like, someone comes into your home, you offer them something to drink. But from the flashbacks we saw, there wasn't anything really like that. She was just sitting there with her hands crossed, you know. But, you know, there's so much thought into it because, you know, it's someone you trust. It's a nun. You know, it's a person dressed up as a nun. So she's wearing that nun, like, covering. Her hair is completely covered in that. She's not going to lose hair. Like, she's not going to leave hair behind. So it's, like, brilliant that she, not only it's someone you trust because it's like, okay, this is a nun, right? But now, on, like, forensic side, she's not leaving anything behind, you know? So it's just... like, what the hell? Like, what was the fucking thought in that? And, like, it goes even further into when Longlegs is like a master doll maker, which that in itself is fucking creepy. Like, that's like a whole fucking creepy thing. He's a master doll maker and he's making these dolls.
Has there ever been a movie where anybody was making dolls and they were a master doll maker and they were just a good guy?
No. Oh, Pinocchio.
Yeah. But that's about it.
Geppetto was a good guy.
Yeah, but the rest of them, anytime they're making a doll, they're not making it for good reasons. No. There's only one reason that doll is being made, and it's murder. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, if someone came into my house, my mind, you don't get to see what the gift is. You just see her carry it, and it's like, Alicia Wood is not, from standpoint, it's not like she's 7 feet tall. It's a pretty big-ass box, you know, and she, like, unravels, like, oh, my God, if someone came into my house with a doll that looked like my daughter, I would be like, hell no, get the fuck out. Like, get out. You know, but I bet by the time you look at the doll, that's it. You're screwed. Like, yeah, once you've made eye contact with it, it's over. Because... when you looked into their little doll eyes and they giggle and go, we're going to kill you. When it's too late. Nick Cage is making the doll, he always has Satan with him. You see Satan throughout the film as a shadowy figure, like you see in another film of Oz Perkins. ... And you see him there, so he's always there. Like, right? They're like besties, hanging out, making dolls together. And he puts a bit of himself in each doll that's being made, and a bit of the child's somehow. They don't really fucking explain that. Now, this is actually revealed a little earlier in the film because, you know, there was one survivor from one of the families. And the survivor is the Karen Shipka's character, who's in an insane asylum and she's catatonic. And they, when she deciphers, you know, when Lee Harker was deciphering all the coding and stuff, there's a clue. And it tells them to go and, you know, X marks the spot. And they find in the floorboards in, like, this fucking abandoned, like, damn farmhouse or whatever, on the property of the Camera family, they find, like, this doll. And they take the doll to, like, the coroners. When they take the doll to the coroners, I was like, oh, hell no. Because this is the first time that you've seen a doll. And you're like, oh, no. Is this one of those creepy things where, like, it's a child, you know, in the doll itself. And it just has, like a porcelain mask over it. Yeah, you're going to pull that down. There's going to be an actual face in there. Yeah, because it has, like, straggly human hair. And it says this is human hair. It has, like, straggly hair. And it's all... It was all, like how it would be, like, in the womb. Like, all, like, curled into itself. It's fucking creepy. And this silver thing is in... the coroner has removed the silver thing. And he shows them... Like, he tells them, like, you know, about the doll and, like, how, like, it's an expert doll maker that made it. And how that thing that's it's supposed to be, like, the brain of the doll, like, has, like, a wave, you know, when it's pulsating. And he puts... like a little listening device or, like, maybe a, what do you call it? I feel like when you, like, listen to the heart or whatever, he puts it on the damn ball. And it's making the strangest fucking sounds. And it's giving Lee Harker... ultrasound. Ultrasound. There you go, yeah. It's giving Lee Harker, like, flashes of, like, red and, like, snakes, like, crawling into, you know, over one another, which is Satan. Like, and then the coroner says, it's weird. I could have heard it talking to me. I swear I heard it talking to me in my ex-wife's voice. And you're like, oh, that's not good. Yeah, it says my ex-wife's voice. It was like, oh, no. So... but he's enamored by it. The coroner is like, wow, like... he's like the creepy guy that's like, I just get to work on people that are stabbed all the time. This shit's really exciting, and I'm into it.
Yeah, he's taken, I would say, by this doll. So when we see, we find out, like, since that happened, and they're trying to crack open, they're like, Agent Carter's like, crack open, that damn silver ball. Like, let's see if there's anything else in it. Next day, or whatever, when they crack that shit open, we get a call from the insane asylum. The bitch is awake. And she's awake, and they get there, and they're like, okay, well, he's like, yeah, she's awake. It was like someone flipped a switch on her. And she's just walking and talking and doing all kinds of things. And here we are, and they're like, okay, well, don't people sign in? And he's like, yeah, here's a sign-in thing. And it says Lee Harker. And they're like, okay, so obviously it wasn't you that came in here. And they're like, okay, well, don't you ask for ID? And the fucking guy, the head of the hospital is like...
Who also reminds me of the head of the hospital from Silence of the Lambs. So it was kind of like the asshole, arrogant guy.
Yeah, wasn't he wearing like a shit brown suit too?
Yeah.
Don't they wear like similar suits? He's like, oh yeah, I guess we should ask for that sort of thing, but we don't.
He's like, it seemed like a good idea, wouldn't it?
Like, what the hell, dude? And what we know about Karen Shipka's character is she's a survivor from this family that was all murdered. The reason why she survived was because she was away at school, and I guess she comes back and sees like everyone's
what's happened,
like dead and whatever. She loses it and goes to the insane asylum. She's been catatonic ever since. But what we find out is there's a connection between the dolls, which we mentioned earlier. That when Nicolas Cage is making the dolls, he puts a bit of the kid in there, and he puts a bit of the Satan in there, and lo and behold, then you have the fucking possessed doll. That's how the families are being possessed. It's going after the father. The father gets fucking crazy, and he kills everybody, and then he kills himself. And then that's why she has to stay. Ruth has to stay around to see these murders because she got to take the evidence away. She can't be leaving the doll there. That would be weird. Like, what the fuck is this doll? So she takes the doll, and then we don't know what the hell what happens to all these dolls. Well, we're going to assume that she gives them back to Longlegs, but we don't know really what he's doing with them, what happens to them after the kid's dead. Like, we don't really know. I guess it's not really important, so they don't really mention it. So if you're trying to find out what's
somewhere
happening,
there's a creepy ass, like, storage place filled with those dolls.
Gross.
You walk in, they all turn slowly and look at you as you walk in. Just back out and close the door.
Like, is the soul of the child stuck in this damn doll forever? Like, trapped in its own personal hell? Because, hello, it is Satan, so he would be all about it, and, like, he stole their innocence. It's real fucked up. If you, like, really think about it, it's like, oh, goodness. So, now we know that there's a connection between, these dolls, and this is how this is getting done. So, when we have Lee as a kid, we see in the flashback towards the end of the movie what actually happened, because she had forgotten what happened to her. We all think, oh, she was fucking traumatized. But what actually happened was that there was a doll, and there is a doll that the mom still had. And the deal was that she would have her memories, Lee would have her memories erased from what happened, and that she would be able to live. And so would the mom, if the mom did the devil's bidding.
It said you have to bow down, all the way down.
Yep. And I want to mention that Longlegs, Nicolas Cage, he calls the devil the man downstairs. He has several names for him, but the man downstairs. And
he also just happens to live downstairs at the mom's.
He fucking other reveal, Nick Cage, who we see a couple of times in the film in his workshop with the dolls, his interactions, like doing his thing, hanging out, reading a comic book while he's staring across from fucking Satan, like, just you like how you do, is actually the fucking mom's house. It's the basement of the mom's house. And when the daughter visits her the day before her birthday, and she has this whole conversation with the mom, which is where she gets, like, her kid, like, fucking treasure chest where she takes home and then sees like all these like Polaroid pictures, and that's when she sees Longleg's face, and then she gets it to the FBI, and that gets the ball rolling. That is when you're like, oh shit. That's why when Lee tried to open the door that's like in the kitchen area, it's like beside the refrigerator, she can't go, the door is locked, she can't go downstairs. That fucker was there the whole damn time.
Him and the cockroaches downstairs, because a big ass cockroach came walking out from underneath the door. So he's just down there living with the dolls and the cockroaches.
Well, that's because Satan's down there, and Satan brings out all the everything that's underneath the. Oh, okay, I know. I'm really getting into the whole like, oh yeah, the whole Satan thing with the snakes and the roaches and all that shit. I just find it very fascinating. So, now we know who it is and all that shit, and they get long legs, and Nick Cage performance of the year. And what I was saying before was Nick Cage, look, he's done a lot of crazy things. Like, he's known to like be really fucking out there, right? Like in real life and in his fucking roles, he takes it the extra mile. Like, he's about like learning about the character and like bringing it to life and bringing all these different characteristics from different characters he's seen in films, because he's a fucking film buff, right? Into making a whole new character. He's all into it. This is the first time the man has been in like full prosthetics, or prosthetics in general, because he did have a hook and Moonstruck, and then he had long hair in Con Air. Like, I can't think of any other movie where he's so dramatically changed. Like, his hair color is different, his face is fucking different. Renfield, but he's just still Nick Cage as Dracula. Like, I wouldn't say that he's like dramatically changed as Dracula. I'm like, oh, that's Nick Cage's, like, Mr. Vamp. But I was talking to my sister and her boyfriend, and we were like, why is his face like that? Like, what the fuck is up with his face? And we see him go to a hardware store at one point, and he buys some earplugs, which, that's interesting. Why he buying earplugs? And he buys like filler, like putty or some shit, which, yeah, fine, he's making dolls and doing things. But we have this whole theory that his face doesn't look normal. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, he looks like someone that got into an accident, or he looks like someone that has a birth defect. He looks like someone that has injected his face, because when you see his face in the 70s flashback, his face is like freaky as fuck, but the characteristics are not as bulbous. Like, his lips they look like, like filler, like Botox gone wrong. His cheeks and his lips are really fucking big. And we're thinking that he's injecting himself with like weird shit, like, shit that a hardware store you would find, to like alter his face, some way, so he's not recognized. Like, if someone were to recognize him, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I saw that guy walking down the street. Because when you see a fucking guy with like looking wild with like fucking straggly ass blonde hair and a Tiny Tim outfit, light pink,
a little white paint all over his face and some lipstick.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm gonna move to the other sidewalk on that one.
He gonna stand out. But if in the 70s or 80s, his lips look fucking normal, but now he looks like, I don't know, like any of those terrible cosmetic, things that these women that do those huge lips, and they look like lions with the fillers, and they look wild. That's what he looks like. So we were just really like going in on like, what is up with this fucking man's face? He looks real crazy. So, they get him, and he talks a lot. He tells her things. I would have not gone in their room. She has to go and question him, and I'm like, why didn't they have someone go in with her, especially when they already knew at this point there's some kind of weird connection which they're trying to figure out? Don't have her go alone.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. You send at least one other guy in there to stand just in the corner.
Yeah, like, what the hell was that about? And she doesn't get hurt, but yeah, some crazy shit happens, and it doesn't end well. He hails Satan. He gives himself over to the Dark Lord, and gives like a little bit of clues. He asks, the biggest, go ask your mother. You want to go find out some shit, go ask your mother. And she does. And yeah, that's when you get the reveal of everything that's going on, and the whole showdown. And, you know, even though we did say a spoiler, I don't want to spoil the end of the film. The end of the movie is ambiguous. It's kind of like Inception. Like, what happened? I mean, that's how I took it. Like, we don't really know what occurred officially. The movie ends with Nick Cage saying "Hail Satan," and being his weird self. Now, I'm going to give this 4 knives.
Yeah, me too.
I want to say that Neon, this is put out by Neon. Neon has gone out and said that, you know, this is the scariest movie. This movie is so fucking scary. I didn't think the movie was scary. I thought this was going to be way scarier the way that they marketed. The marketing is genius. I have no issues with the marketing. They had a weird fucking phone number out. You would call, Nick Cage, you know, would do his little lines from the movie. Like, it was like he was talking to you. It was fucking freaky as hell. They put out in the newspaper, like, you know, that they're trying to find long legs, whatever. They did a whole bunch of billboard. They did all kinds of stuff. Wonderful. Like, it was just great marketing. You know, Disney should learn a fucking bit from that marketing, because they're terrible at marketing. I'm still sore about John Carter. I'm sorry. I haven't gone over the John Carter lack of marketing for that film that I love so much. Anyways, so you have all that, and then, you know, I give it 4 knives. This film is in 3 chapters. The last one being Birthday Girls. And so is Black Coat's Daughter, which is another winter film, which I said the plot is split into 3 timelines in that film. And just like this one, it is about a Catholic boarding school that Kiernan Shipka is attending. And it's one of those where it's like winter break, and Kiernan Shipka and another character stay over. They don't go home, and they're in the school. Kiernan Shipka at some point, and I don't remember why. I don't even think that's even explained. She starts going downstairs to meet the man downstairs, which that's not said directly in the film, but the devil is down there, and she's worshiping him. And it goes awry. There's a lot of shit goes down. But I feel like, and then she does end up in a insane asylum. Kiernan Shipka, her name in the film is Kat. Kat does end up in the insane asylum. So there's so many little things that connect to, you know, Carrie, or her name in this film.
Yeah.
Even though it's not direct, I feel like maybe, I know writers, they're in it and they're thinking about things, and maybe he's like, but I'm like, why did you get Kiernan Shipka to do this like fucking 10-minute cameo? Okay, which she does fucking amazing in the cameo, like just kills it. Okay, and she's in this cameo. She's, you know, she went away to school. She does have the interaction with Longlegs, and she says that she would kill Lee Harker if he wanted her to. She doesn't really say who he is.
Which means she must have come home just in time to see him at some point in the house, or talk to the mom or something, you know, or maybe when he came and talked to her, he just explained what it was. But yeah, it was kind of weird that she missed out on the actual murders, but yet she was still connected to him, you know, because
the doll was still there. That doll was still intact. And that's why she was like catatonic that whole time, because the doll had been like put in, and then on it had like the whatchamacallit, Jesus, the crucifix was there, like nailed down to the floorboards. She was in there, like, I don't want to say that she was being protected, because that's weird, but maybe she was, but then he knew where she was. It was very weird. But she was in there, and once the coroner burst open that thing, which they did off screen, but you knew that he was going to go in there and open that thing, that's when she woke up. Because a piece of the kids are in the fucking ball. And whatever he told her, like, he must have, and then Satan was with him, because they're always together. So Satan probably was like, "What's up, girl? Hey, You gonna do my biddings? And she was like, yep. You know, you woke me up and I'm gonna do what I need to do for you. You know, and then you find out that she, on the day on the 14th, which is Lee Harker's birthday and Agent Carter's birthday, daughter's birthday, she jumps out the window and kills herself. So there's a lot of little things. I don't know if Perkins did that on purpose or he was just, you know, it was an homage to it, because it's not like direct, but there's too many coincidences, like too many things that connect to me. But once I found out, because her name is not even in the opening credits, Kernan Shipka's name. It wasn't revealed until like the week before the movie came out, like last week or the week before, that she was actually in the film. And when I saw her name, when you read her name to me, I flipped the fuck out. Remember, I was like, oh my God, because I was like, this movie has something to do with Satan, because I was like, there's supernatural shit to it. And what if there's a connection to Black Coat's daughter? You know? So not that plays in all in the movie, and it's not a thing that you need to know, but I just love like little shit like that.
Yeah. It's one of those like things like you start looking like wondering like, hey, did he do it on purpose, or was that just like, hey, I just want to throw her in there, you know?
In a interview that he gave, they did ask him, oh, you also had the devil in Black Coat's daughter, and he's like, yeah, I like supernatural stuff, you know. The end. Like, he didn't get into it at all. He barely answered the question. So I don't know. I don't know. I would definitely ask him that. I was like, I need to know, because I am a fan and I need to know. It may have just been coincidental. Like I said, writers, you know, they're grabbing all these different kinds of things, and it might be something that was just still like unsettled for him, or maybe he just wanted to, you know. In Black Coat's daughter, you don't really find out what happens to Kat. The ending of it is ambiguous, just like this ending. The ending is Kat failed it somehow with the devil, and the devil has left her. And now she's truly alone. And now she's in the grief of not being part of Satan's kingdom, or besides Satan, you know. And even though she brings him offerings like sacrifices, and that still wasn't enough to bring her back into his graces. That's how the movie ends, which is fucking amazing. So maybe this was like a book, and like boom, she killed herself, you know what I mean? Like, damn, even though it's not the same character, but wink. I don't know. But yeah, so you definitely should check it out.
See it in theaters. It's a great one to see on the big screen.
It is. It's visually stunning. I have nothing negative to say about it. I look forward to the rest of the films that he is coming out with. The next two don't seem to be about the devil, because I was like, oh no, the devil up again? Like, I don't know what you trying to say here, but... he's not religious at all. In the interview, he said he's not religious at all. He thinks it's all very funny. He just likes the whole... he likes the ceremonies and the robes, and he just thinks it's just wacky, you know, and that's why he revisits the whole, like, Satan thing, like, because he just thinks that the rituals and all that is just funny. So, obviously, he has a warped sense of humor. So it's like, okay. Thank you for joining us on our Long Legs episode, and stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.